We live, man.
Welcome. We have finally made it. What Drake say, nigga, we made it. NBA Finals preview, Lakers, Heat. This is the scene. This is 94 Feet of Light. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube, notifications on. If you're a football fan, please have your notifications on at about 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. It's going to be special. But let's talk about it, man. MJ, Germ, J Ham, Trad. We've gotten to the finals, y'all. Through the lockdown, all that's happened. We are here. Miami, LA. Real quick thoughts. I'm gonna start it with MJ. MJ, talk to us, man. What should the people be looking for here in this series?
Um, first and foremost, I give all the credit in the world to the Miami Heat. The way Eric Spoelstra switched defenses up, the way they stuck with their identity, the way they made it into the consummate team game, they deserve to be here. Also, a lot of love to the Lakers because the Lakers remind me kind of Floyd Mayweather this year. No matter who we put up against and how we tried to explain like it was going to be this fight or it was going to be this good matchup, after they figured out the team, it was pretty much a wrap. They went through the whole Western Conference 5 games apiece. You get 5 games, you get 5 games, you get 5 games. Everybody get 5 games. So this series is going to be very interesting for me because as much as I want to believe that the Heat is going to break that narrative, looking at this film is tough. So I'm going to save that part. It's only one person that I'm going to bring up in the film. And I'm definitely going to have that later. But let me go ahead and move this over quick to J Ham. J Ham, talk to the people.
People, what's good? We got football, basketball, playoff baseball all going on at the same time. Things real crazy. I'm up for it. My channel, I got both thumbs ready to go. I'm going to have to be flipping around. Shout out to the Heat, though, man, for going from lottery to the finals. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? It's just, and the way that the manner, and they wish they approached it and got it done. Just team like effort. Like I mentioned on one of the previous joints we had, Myers Leonard is like one of the most animated cats on the Miami Heat. He probably played like 3 minutes the entire playoffs. But the culture that they got right now down there, man, it deserves to be right where they are in the NBA Finals, playing for what this will be their 4th championship for their franchise. Sounds like a wonder for me, man. Jerm, what you got, man?
Man, look, as you see, I'm Germ out of bio today. Shout out to my guy, Bam. That man out there hooping. Well, hey, in the words of my guy, Trav, Big Blue Nation is in the house. I'm excited. For the first time, we got some matchups that we can say, hey, AD ain't going to run off on Bam like that because they cut from the same cloth. That's Big Blue Nation, baby. Oh, I'm here for it, man. I'm just happy. I'm gonna move it on to Trav, man. We're gonna swing the rock, man. Trav, man, talk to the folks, man.
Man, you know what it is, man. The sports gods have been good to us through the whole pandemic and through everything else. The sports god has been good to us. Got to give the flowers to Miami as they are right now, man. They sticking to their identity. A bunch of dogs on their team, man. We're gonna break that down in just a moment, man. Big shot. Get it going, man. Get it going.
On the other side, we got the Lakers. And the Lakers are right where a lot of people thought they should be, which was finals. When you make the move for AD, this is why you made the move. And I'm picking LA to win this series in a hard 5, maybe even a 6, because we talked about Miami's toughness throughout the bubble. LA has been that tough too. And it's shown on the defensive end. They have not taken a night off on defense in a long time. They are consistently in passing lanes, they help, they recover. Big guys are covering the pick and roll. LA is the foil for Miami because unlike a team like Milwaukee who kind of shrank under it, Boston who had some shrinkage under it, LA's not going to do that. And I think this is why I'm picking them to win, because I think the physical and mental toughness that Miami's shown, LA is every bit of that. And they got the two guys who, at the end of the game, we got the two best players on the floor in LeBron and AD. I'm going to kick this over to MJ because I know MJ's been wanting to get into this lab work with y'all really quick, but that's just my initial thoughts on why I really believe LA is going to take care of this.
Well, it's very simple, and let me go ahead and share my screen. The biggest matchup is going to be this. As you can see, we have that infamous zone that gave Boston problems, correct? If we play this in slow-mo, can y'all see it?
Yep, everything is there.
Perfect. All right, so as you can see, the Boston runs a simple overload. I mean, we've seen zones before. What makes Miami zone very interesting is the fact that when the ball does get to the middle, the top side is actually very active to get the ball out into there, as opposed to the Bam going up in a rush to be able to get rid of that. And then that creates either a high-low or a quick corner cut to the basket. So as we play this a little bit, just like what we talked about, he bluffs, but he goes right back out. Daniel Tice is pretty much just looking to kick it back out to here. You want to know why? Because Daniel Tice is not really a scoring factor. So the difference is, we're just going to show first things. First things first, we talked about that defense. First thing is, the Lakers can actually stay big and guard Miami because of this guy, Anthony Davis. He's guarding the most athletic person on the floor right now, and this is what he does. Give me that. That is a huge advantage. So I'm going to let this play for the rest of the minute while I keep talking. As you know, Miami loves to go small. They love to throw a lot of people at him. That's not going to fly with number 3. If you put anybody on him that he can shoot over, it's going to be a long night. And that's the one difference between him and LeBron. With LeBron, LeBron is going to go from the wing and he's going to beeline drive you to the basket. He'll post and be really good at it, but even with his post, he's not doing it for 4 or 5 straight games. AD has no problem with doing this 4 or 5 straight games. Now, I'm waiting for this one particular situation. As you saw that good steal right here. This is what I'm waiting on right here. Look at there. He's in the exact same spot that's going to be open on that 2-3 zone that Miami runs. Good luck. So go ahead and switch this over and stop sharing my screen. Bring it back. So what do you guys think so far? Move it over to J-Ham. What's your thoughts? Or anybody could chime in.
Well, here's what I think. First thing is, we can talk about the things like that. I think in this situation, I think what Miami is going to do is they're just going to throw some different looks at it. Now, obviously, everything is going to be subject to change. You know, the series is going to be subject to change as you get, acclimated into how each team plays. You learn what they like to do in these situations. I think Spo is the perfect coach to be able to figure something out here in this situation. That's not saying that it's going to make a difference, because at the end of the day, we talk about it all the time, Rex's and Joe's versus X's and O's. You can draw up the perfect play, but if you ain't got the personnel to run it or the personnel to execute it, it don't make a difference. The only thing is, I think that they may be able to do some things like this to make some things very, very intriguing and interesting for this particular game. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to move the ball over to Big Shot, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think what will be interesting, and Miami has kind of been like built by committee, right? They change, the best player for Miami changes like every night. Is JB one night? Is Dragic another night? Is Bam another night? Is Tyler Hero on another night? What I think will be interesting, and Jerm hit on this, is can they just annoy the Lakers to death? Because they don't have really the size. So is Miami just going to be able to just annoy the hell out the Lakers? And that means guards pressuring the ball up the floor. So you can't make that clean entry to AD that MJ showed. Are they going to be able to gang rebound? Because you're going to have to gang rebound against that type of size. All 5 men got to go to the glass. Nobody's allowed to leak out. Everybody got to go to the glass. So there is a scenario in which Miami wins 2 games, maybe even 3. But they're going to have to do everything they've done to another level. And that's annoy, pressure, gang rebound, all the things that they've done in pretty much every game for like the last 3 weeks. They got to do it about 5, 6 more times. And they're going to have to get some help on LeBron and AD. But as MJ pointed out, I just think the Anthony Davis factor in this is real. And I think Anthony Davis as that, we ain't going to call him a sidekick. We ain't even going to disrespect him. We're going to call him as 1A. That is a tough 1A that I don't know if Miami really has an answer for, even if they do everything right. I'm going to swing it down because his shirt is too clean to not get on the microphone. Yeah, I see you. Ooh, my man.
Y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy.
My man Trav. Talk to him, white shirt.
Y'all wild, man. But check this out. We are talking about Miami's defense to playing the Lakers. The Lakers also run this same 2-3 format, but they are a lot longer. And for LA I got LA in 6, by the way. I got LA in 6 in this. But to make a better ends of their defensive side of the ball, if they run that 2-3 zone, you got to run them American snipers off that 3 ball. Do it. Because in this instance, where Tyler Hero get to his spots, as he's been good going into the mid-range. But when he get to the rack, you have Anthony Davis, you have JaVale McGee, you got Big Scen, you got Dwight. They're waiting. They can contest it. But run them folks off that 3. But the defense of LA, they haven't taken a night off. So both ends, they run that 2-3 zone, like you said. The Heat got to be a pest. The Lakers just got to stay aggressive. So
let's swing it to Ham real quick. So
Can y'all hear me?
now yes we can. So right now, Ham, what we're doing is we talking about the 2-3 zone and how the Lakers got some length and some size there, and how the Miami Heat run that as well, and how basically AD being in the center of that changes the whole dynamic of the whole thing.
AD being in the center of it reminds me a lot of KG being in the center of it when they did it in Boston in 07, 08. You know, it's a lot like that where he's in the paint, 1001, 1002, back out of the paint. And just, people don't be realizing, man, when you get in the half court offense in the NBA now, you got 16 seconds to get a shot off because it's going to take you 7 to 8 to get across the court and get set up. So everything is going to be on quick hit. You got to get into it and get to your execution. This is how also easily you can fall asleep, as we kind of, well, not fall asleep, but fall into that lull of isolation basketball that we saw with Boston in Game 6. Coming down the stretch, they were up 6 with about...
It was about 8 minutes left or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely some around the area, and it's interesting that you even mentioned that because, like, when I even just look at this Miami team, it's almost like they got a little bit of every team that the Lakers just beat.
Yeah.
So they have the perimeter shooting like Portland had, in which you had to chase them off of that. You know, they had the big that can make plays like Denver with Jokic and Bam Adebayo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got the athletic shooting guard who can get to the basket, cause havoc, and can rally his team like Houston. So it's just a mixture of everything going on at once. And just off going off history of, LeBron teams that has lost in the finals, they shot the cover off the ball. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen again. And we're gonna talk about why I don't think that will be the case. Because as good as Tyler Hero was, he's no Damian Lillard. And the way they guarded Damian Lillard was masterful in this series. So let's just go ahead and look at it. Constant hands. And as we look at it, everybody is up. We give it to them. We reach in, our hands are active. If they can do this against the Duncan Robinsons and the Tyler Heroes and even the Gordon Dragic, if they give this type of attention to them, I don't know what Miami's going to be able to do. So, I mean, once again, you're going to give good shot makers looks. You can't take everything away. But as long as you're able to just keep driving right into the length. See, these things are things that, the Lakers were doing over and over again in this playoffs that were causing droughts. So, look, there go that man again we talked about. Good rotation, we'll give you the shot. We ain't worried about it. Constant rotation. Everybody's helping the helper. We'll take that shot. Like I stated, at the end of the day, you gotta make the shot too. And who is to say that they won't make these shots that we saw Portland miss? But just the second and third effort, the helping the helper, the length, the hands is always up, the constantly trying to chase you off of the three-point line, in which when you do go full speed, we got 2 7-footers waiting on you to rotate. And if you kick it to the corner, we got guys that's going to help the helper. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass that to Jerm because his hands is ready.
So check this out. First and foremost, I got to shoot it. That's Curry. But no, I like everything you said. In the 3 games that the Lakers lost, there is one constant. The team that beat the Lakers got better as the game went along. So they came out solid in the first quarter. They sustained it all 3 quarters, all 3 first quarters. But in the fourth quarter, the other team either got stronger, meaning that they knocked down free throws, they knocked down open jumpers, and they defended. Those are the 3 things that happened in all 3 Lakers losses. Knocked down jumpers, defended, proverbially they got stronger as the game went on. That is what this Miami team is built on. If they're clicking on all cylinders at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, they're going to be in the game. Doesn't matter if you have 10 points or 15 points, because they will focus on getting stops on the other end. That's why this is a great styles clash, because there are some things that the Heat do that all of those teams that you just named did, but they only did it 1 game. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about the Heat. The Heat have been the most consistent team outside of the Lakers in the bubble, which obviously is why they're there. So I'm gonna swing this over to Big Shot, because I just had to bring that in there because MJ made such a great point. I had to make a good point too, just to be able to stay on the screen. But go ahead, Big Shot.
I think if you the advantage you have if you're Miami is in the backcourt, in that with Dragic, Butler, and Hero, you've got the advantage over the Lakers guard. I think to me, if I'm Miami, we're gonna get the pace going up and down the floor, number one. Because as MJ just showed on the film, you don't want to get into a slog with the Lakers. The size, the strength is too much. So you got to get the pace going up and down the floor, and shoot, and you got to shoot it. As we talk about make or miss lead, when Miami has really rolled, it's rolled when they shooting that 3 ball. Get the pace going, try to get the game, not maybe at a pace of 130, 125 points, but you want to play that fast. Make AD and Dwight, make them dudes run. Because in that half-court set, that Lakers defense is tough, man. Jay Ham back with us again. Jay, one of the things we talked about in the pre-show was sort of, obviously, the legacy of LeBron. You make the move to LA, 10th final in 17 years, which is dumb in itself. I don't care about who he lost to. You make the finals 10 times, 17 years. You doing it. What does this mean for him personally? Because we know the barbershop talk about where he ranks and all that. What does this mean for him, for you as a historian, should this come off as we seem to think that the Lakers win this chip?
I don't know. I can't remember who made the post yesterday in our group in 94 Feet of Life. Join that group on Facebook, kick it with us sometime. But they were making the point of saying that, like, I want to say it was our man Amon Hunt that was saying this. This is all-time great athlete level stuff. Like any sport, any era, just like when you speak of the all-time great athletes, narrative-wise of what you've seen or personally feel, whether it's Jim Thorpe, Muhammad Ali, go on and so on and so forth, he's in that mix. I can honestly say I can put him in that mix of all-time great athletes over cats like Michael and Kobe. Not saying that he's a better basketball player, but you have to look at the standard in which he came in. He exceeded all expectations from the spot that he was coming from. And it's like he's that cat, he's basically taking the NBA side of it. It's just like going to the gym. I'm gonna pick my 4 to run with me, and we gonna hold court. And that's what he's pretty much done over the last decade, within the Eastern Conference. And of course, we all heard, saw, read, well, he can't do it in the West. Now he come out West and he's 12-3 in the playoffs in the Western Conference, just like the defending champion, just like the Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat are 12-3 in the Eastern, in the playoffs this year. But he said it himself, it won't mean much if he don't get it done. But it's like, this is like a storied career. And for him to continue on at this rate, at this point, age 35, year 17, if you hate on that, man, you just miserable. You just tripping. You ain't got to like dude, but you got to appreciate that type of, accomplishment. But we all know people hate dominance. They hated the Patriots. They hate Alabama. They hated the Celtics for a while. They hated the Lakers too. Anything that's dominant is going to draw their detractors. But it's like when you step back and you just observe it all, man, one of the guys said it in the group, man, when we going to start appreciating LeBron? No, when y'all going to start. I've been gave partner his roses.
Don't you put that evil on us, Rick Bobby. That's on you.
But that's just how I look at it, man. Go ahead, MJ.
Oh no, I was just bringing more film to the game. So as you obviously guys saw that I've made a lot of cases for the Lakers. As you know, I have no dog in this fight. I get nothing if Lakers win. I get nothing if Miami wins. I don't get a cookie. I don't feel any better or worse if my pick is correct or incorrect, in which I haven't made the pick yet, but that will come later. Go ahead.
I see you some cookies though.
See, but I'm gonna get the cookies regardless, and that's what I'm trying to explain to y'all because I got the plug.
There you go.
Hey, make sure you got some of that green stuff in them too. But that's off the subject. We'll talk about that later.
Anywho, I got you.
Green cookies are the best.
I'm gonna say this. So LeBron slander has to stop. At this stage, there will be no more LeBron slander. I will not allow it. It's 2 things that I'm gonna say to you. Number one, there's 2 things I'm gonna say to you. 10 times getting to the finals in itself is more than an accomplishment. I don't care about the losses at this stage. I thought that was stupid anyway, because the best team wins in basketball 99% of the times because it's over 2 weeks. And that means you got to beat somebody 4 times in 2 weeks. It just is what it is. Yeah. So with that being said, LeBron James is the greatest number 1 pick in the history of all sports. If you argue with me, you can argue with your mama. I'm not arguing with you. Just let you know now. There's not a guy who came into the league as a number 1 pick for a franchise that he was 45 minutes down the road from, 30 miles down the road from, that gave them a championship. Whether he gave it to him in the first 7 or the last 3 that he played there, it doesn't make a difference. He delivered on something that was not there. I don't care about the injuries. I don't care about that. That's part of basketball. It just is what it is. Attrition is a part of professional sports. It just happens. But the second thing that I'm going to say, the second thing, This is the most important part of all of this. LeBron James is the most clutch performer in all of professional sports outside of Tom Brady. This man has the weight of Los Angeles on his back. The year in which arguably the greatest Laker all time passed, we have a global pandemic. He got to rally the troops around him in LA. We not only mentioned the fact that he had to do something similar with the thing that went on when he was in Miami. He had to deal with that scrutiny. Then let's not forget the first 7 years in Cleveland where he did some amazing things there as well. And let's not forget the last 4 years he did in Cleveland, which were still, by my opinion, some of the greatest years of his professional career. His best finals year is the year he didn't even win the finals. And that was 6 games against the Golden State Warriors. They had no business winning 2 games in that series with no Kyrie and no Kevin Love. And y'all gonna sit up here and criticize? That man has the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I just want y'all to give that man respect because he deserves it.
I think, to me, and then we're going to definitely get to MJ's film, I think what has really kind of shown right for me is that dude as a leader. And if you look at what's happened in the bubble, and let's think about this. When the whole thing happened with Jacob Blake, 3 teams voted to leave. Milwaukee, Clippers, and the Lakers. 1 team is left. And to me, that's a credit to him that when they were ready to vote, rightfully so, and they decided to stay, he like, all right, fellas, let's rally. Let's come together, because it would have been very easy, because of the emotions and everything that was involved in that situation, for cats to fold it up. And they didn't. And we watched Milwaukee and the Clippers, who should have been playing this past week. We watched both of them teams pack it in. And I think for LeBron to rally them dudes and get them dudes together and say, hey, we're going to be here. We got work to do. We got a mission to accomplish. I think his leadership as a player, to me, you say whatever you want about clutch sports and this decision and all that, that's water under the bridge at this point. It don't even matter. Dude's leadership is through the roof. MJ, the film, as we get ready to wrap this up, lead the people is something for them to keep in their mind.
Yeah, and I'm purposely not even going to touch that LeBron thing until after the series over, win or lose. I'm purposely not even going to touch it. But what I will do constantly, what I've been doing, go ahead and share some film. We was talking about AD as far as what he could bring now. This was Miami defense on Giannis. As you can see, it says one-on-one defense, but it really wasn't one-on-one defense because every time they pushed, they were always back. This is going to be the key in this. Jay Crowder, Iguodala, Jimmy Butler, even some of the guards, Olynyk, like just smart guys who know we're not going to let certain people beat us. So when you think about LeBron in the fast break downhill drive, or when you think about AD when he has it isolated in the post, and which we're going to see really soon, you just understand. And Giannis is going to finish some. But just understand we're not going to make anything easy around this basket. Like it's almost like they drew a line and like, okay, we can't give you the paint. So as you look, good pick and roll, constant rotation. Miami is constant rotation. When in doubt, they pretty much drew a line around this area. This little dotted area right here, you can't get there, in which they make and Giannis shoot from 3 to 10 feet. We talked about that 3 to 10 feet and how important it is. Even on a fast break, you get a steal, usually this leads to an easy one. He made it look easy because he's special, but there's 4 people around him. So the one thing that I've always admired about Miami is they're not going to concede anything. Everything is contested, and they are very even keeled when it comes to being the defender. They're not getting scared or they're not getting, discouraged when good shots happen. They're just staying with their plan of attack. So with that being said, I actually wouldn't be shocked if Miami pulled out a triangle and two. I think it would be perfect for it. Pulling out the triangle and two, we go ahead and focus specifically on AD and LeBron. Y'all can't get in the paint. Everybody else can't get in the paint either, but we will live with one-on-one matchups with everybody else. Dwight Howard, if you get the ball anywhere near the paint, we're going to foul you, make your free throws. So Kyle Kuzma's going to have to beat us. Rondo, who has shown he can, is going to have to beat us. Markieff Morris, you're going to have to beat us. We're going to have to y'all got to win, because if we do it any other way, then this series will end in 5.
I agree. I think Spoelstra going to pull out the entire bag. Page 400 in the playbook. We go into that page because, like you said, MJ, if I'm the Heat personally, I can be okay losing this series on 25 points from Markieff Morris. I'm okay with losing the series 25 points for Kyle Kuzma. What cannot be okay is them two dudes up front
going for 60.
Going crazy on me. I can't live with 65, 25, and 15 from them two.
Right.
That's not allowable. So, hey, Caruso, you want to make these open J's? Go ahead and make them. Go ahead. But you can't have when LeBron did to Denver that game the other night when he just said skip it and just went ahead and got and scored like 11 of the last 14. We can't have that. We cannot have it.
I'm gonna say this I'm gonna say this as we wrap it up. Me and MJ had a conversation as well. The Lakers don't want to shoot 30 plus threes. Make them shoot 33s. We're gonna pack this paint. Y'all gonna shoot 33s. Y'all gonna make 33s in order for y'all. Y'all gonna, if you make 33s,
cool.
Good day, sir.
Hey.
If not, because I can make 18. Because I got the American white snipers.
Hey, as good as Anthony Davis has become shooting that ball, Jerm, I'm with you. If Anthony Davis want to turn into Kevin Love, go ahead.
You know something funny? I remember playing against a dude back when I was in college. I wasn't playing at the time. I was just going to school. But he was on this Division I team. I'm not going to say his name because I'm not a name-dropping dude. But I've seen him terrorize everybody, scoring on 3 people, scoring on NBA dudes, whatever. So I win the game. He comes on the floor because he had winners. He immediately guards me. I already made up in my mind it's about to be a 3-point contest. I'm not going to even guard him. I'm going to be in the paint because even though he can hit threes, I mean, I've seen him hit like 20 shots in a row. I am only going to win if this is a 3-point contest. I can't beat him if he gets to go in his bag and do what he feels like doing. So I hit my 3. When I guarded him, I gave him like 4 feet. He hit his 3. Okay, I came back, hit my 3. I gave him 4 more feet. He hit his 3. I hit my 3. He comes back. He does a hezzy because in his mind, he's just not used to just shooting threes. It's just not in him. He's not used to it being that easy. So eventually, he gets bored himself. Well, meanwhile, now you're playing my game because I just made you think just that one moment. So now you miss because you don't want to shoot this 3.
Yeah.
You was cool with hitting a couple because everybody was like, oh, this is my rhythm or whatever, but you're not accustomed to that. Yeah, we seen LeBron hit 40-footers, but LeBron ain't going to shoot 10 40-footers. Duncan Robinson will.
Because if he don't, Spo gonna be ready to choke him. That's just straight up because it's like that's the perfect analogy that you brought. Especially when you factor in Duncan Robinson, who, hey man, you dribbling too much. That's been told to him. Hey man, shoot the ball. That's been.
So with those things being said, as Ham froze real quick, shouts out to him. Technical difficulties, don't worry about it. But moving forward, just to get ready to wrap everything up. I mean, look, I'm not making a pick because I don't want to take nothing away from either team at this stage. My picks have been terrible this playoff anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, mine ain't been that great either. So,
I think I maybe got one series right, but at the end of the day, the big key thing here is it has been fun, and the best thing about it is Miami. Miami has been the team that they showed up and played.
and I think that's why, even though personal preference, this wasn't my choice for the finals necessarily, I'm good with this as a series because I think Miami, unlike a Boston or Milwaukee, Miami gonna make them go get it. And as MJ talked about, they ain't giving you nothing. So if the Lakers beat these dudes in 5, they gonna have to really beat them in 5 because Miami ain't gonna give them a game. They ain't gonna just give you one. So I think this is gonna pull out the special stuff out of LeBron, the special stuff out of AD. I think for a guy like Dwight Howard, who hasn't been to the finals in like 11 years and has had such a tough career and has had such a really rocky career, this is a big moment for him. So I'm expecting this to be tough. But as we wrap it up, remember, subscribe to the YouTube because you never know we're going to show up. We try to give y'all a little bit of advance notice, but we going to stop giving advance notice. We're just going to start appearing on your screen. Subscribe, notifications on, The Scene, 94 Feet of Light. Football heads, I'm going to say it one more time, be back here at 6 Central, 7 Eastern tonight. Because I don't even know what they got in store because they ain't told me, but I am pretty sure it's going to be special tonight on this pregame for Baltimore, Kansas City. I'm going to be tuned in at the gig. That's how real this is going to be tonight. Big Shot, MJ, Germ, Ham, Trav, shout out Trav. This is The Scene, 94 Feet of Life. Easy.